guy that you're with, how you guys actually met.
Yeah, we met through friends, and it was like really simple and really easy.
Okay.
It was, I mean, don't get me wrong, like when I first saw him, it was a case of, wow, oh my gosh, like I really want that guy. But it was because of how I saw him interacting with other people. Now, if I'd seen him on the dating app, maybe not, because you can't see live action of him interacting with other people. But I saw the way that he was behaving with around other people, the way he carried himself physically, emotionally, the way that people respected him. I was like, oh my gosh, like I hope I get to speak to him. And I got to speak to him, and we didn't end up together straight away. We saw each other for a while before we were together. I had to fight Troy. I had to fight. But and he it was great. And when you talk about smiling, I'm just trying to think, like, he smiled a bit, but it was kind of like that side smile. It wasn't like he wasn't a smiler when I first met him. But it was more the way that I saw him interacting with others.
Well, and that is really interesting. And funnily enough, I was reading, this is something that's been talked about in the sort of, dating advice community for a while, like social dominance. But I was reading something, I think it might have been on Reddit or something like that the other day. Someone had written a nice little article about that. And he was saying exactly the same thing. He was saying, look, what's so important here is how you act amongst other people and amongst other guys, and how you're perceived by the group. And if you're perceived as being a leader within the group, or at least you're respected within the group, that is going to make you attractive to the women who are there. And that's actually why in the old days of that guy Mystery, that book The Game, and then Mystery, and there was this whole thing, and his whole thing was going to the nightclub and sort of like engaging the group. So you go and you talk to, say there's a group of 5 or 6 people, men and women, you go in and you kind of engage the group and like become the dominant sort of guy who's entertaining everybody in the group. And the idea was that women are going to look at that and go, oh my God, that guy's cool because he has got this sort of, so that's a kind of an artificial, it's obviously the guy that you're with, he's obviously just got it naturally, but that was sort of like, it was a kind of a way of like acting like that, if you know what I mean. Because
yeah, absolutely. And I think that for me anyway, it was more attractive to me to see how other men were around him more than how other women were. Like there was even how other women were going to be around him, because I saw how other men were around him. I would say put men around you, like good men around you, to like up your game if you're a guy. And to up your points is to put other like good friends, people that like respect you, to be in a situation where people look up to you way more than I'd rather like see a guy with 10 guys around them doing that, or 5 guys around them doing that, than 10, 20 women around them. 100%. 100%.
Because you're looking for, I mean, and again, Mystery used to talk about this, leader of men is a really super attractive male characteristic, right?
Okay, I don't know who he is, but I would agree.
He was an early sort of like pickup, whatever guy.
I completely agree.